heavy life session that we have today on the topic called as understanding emotions for effective relationships. This is a wonderful topic, but before I start, let me quickly introduce myself. So my name is Ankit Tiwari and I represent Safe Express Private Limited, the training team over there. When I talk about the Safe Express, I really feel proud because I'm associated with India's not only the largest but most trusted brand when it comes to the supply chain and logistics. So this makes me feel good. And today on Friday, I really want to take you to the wonderful ride wherein we are going to talk about certain areas, certain aspects of I would say emotions which are not just necessary to understand, but in fact, if we understand, it will make us improve, it will make us go amazing in our life, it will change our life like anything. So that is what exactly we really need to understand. So today when I talk about this, okay, my first point is why exactly we need to understand this topic. Why? What is the need of this topic? The topic says in itself is understanding emotions so that we have better relationships, so that we have effective relationships, so that we have wonderful relationship with everyone around. Don't you think that it directly and indirectly tells us that yes, we human beings are supposed to have a relationship, and those relationships, if not effective, may not yield the kind of output, the kind of impact that we actually want from those relationships. We obviously try to optimize the effect of any association. So same as with the relationships. And when we talk about the relationship, there are a lot many areas, lot many things that we really need to take care of. And one of the most important aspect is the emotions. We human being always have this challenge to manage emotions, to understand others' emotions, and to make a good balance between the emotions of both ours and theirs. So one of the very important point that I actually wanted to talk about is we actually have to understand what exactly is the feelings. So when I talk about the feelings, I really feel able to say emotions is the energy in motion. So the kind of energy that we have in our body, which is continuously moving on, which helps us understand lot many things, which keeps us human, not just robot. Because if we start working on everything logically, we would become just like robots. So here, when we talk on this particular area, this actually helps us understand what we can do so that we can be better at what we do. So I say feelings are generally the kind of uh, this is something inside us which exactly makes us feel good or bad, happy or sad, or in different scale. They continue to change the state of our mind, change the state of the well-being and everything. So we really need to work on that. And especially if we are at workplace, we really need to be very good at managing our own feelings and managing the feelings of the employees or the people around us. And we really need to make sure that this those emotions, those feelings are converted into more of, I would say, positive way so that the kind of work that we produce, it becomes more productive and more useful for everyone. And certainly, this is to a great extent in our control if we really put our best efforts on that. So, if I talk about the basics, as in like why do we need to understand this topic is because we want to maintain one is like the healthy relationships. Second is we want to sympathize and empathize speak with the people so that we can help them or we can get help from them. Then is like it really helps in doing lot of negotiation. We become better negotiator on any kind of I would say platform. We are better negotiator, and negotiator doesn't mean that he has to get the things in his or her favor only. He need to understand what actually makes it a win-win proposition for both of the people involved in that particular proposition in that particular conversation in that particular deal or kind of my end. So that actually really needs to be taken care of. And the people who are emotionally smart, who are good at that, they are able to relax in their life. They are able to have a little bit of chill in their life. Don't you think that yes, you also how somehow look forward to have that kind of particular state? So before I take it further, I just wanted to take you with an example. Have you ever noticed a scenario with yourself being the person on as a hero or the victim, or a person who is a friend or in your network or in your circle? Let's say you receive a call from your friend and he says, "Yeah, आज जो है ना मेरा breakup हो. I had a breakup with my girlfriend and I'm really in very bad. I don't know what to do." And he is feeling low like anything. You are supposed to respond. You actually respond and you react in that particular situation and react it as like, I've told you 100 times that that particular person is not fit for you. You need to focus something on the other side. You really need to prioritize your things. You really need to focus on your career. You really need to do this, blah, blah, blah. So many things. Do you really think so that the person who is listening to you will at all be associating himself or herself with your all these points? Maybe your suggestions are wonderful, but at that particular stage, will he be able to correlate and associate and understand and appreciate your points? To a high degree, it is like no, because he is feeling that yes, you have no empathy, or probably I would say he is feeling that you have antipathy in that particular stage. आप उसके साथ उसकी फीलिंग को कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर रहे हो, आप उसके इमोशंस को समझने की कोशिश ही नहीं कर रहे हो, आप उसके पेन को समझने की कोशिश ही नहीं कर रहे हो. Now, second stage में what you said is like, ah, ठीक है, it's okay, fine, ठीक है, it's not a big deal. In today's time, you have hundreds of breakups, so there is no big deal. ठीक है, let's do something else. Now, this may be relatively better than the previous one, but it is still not the better case because he is not finding any solution, not any kind of help from your end, and he is still feeling isolated and feeling all alone, as like he's not getting any kind of expected help that he was planning or he was expecting from you in that case. Now, third stage comes when you say, "Oh yeah, that's really bad news. Okay, I really feel bad for you, but don't worry much on that." Okay? And all these things can keep on happening. Okay? You really need to prioritize on something else. And let's see what can be done best. Now, in that particular case, what exactly the kind of feeling would be conveyed, or probably from your end, or probably the kind of feeling which is perceived by the person who is listening to you, is feeling a little bit of sympathy over here. At least you try to understand his situation and you try to show some help, though there is no actual help in that in the situation, but there is a possibility that the person who is listening, who's talking, he is interested to help. So there is a level up, and this third level is more of, I would say, sympathy. The fourth level is the very beautiful level. Here, basically, you develop the empathy. You develop it beautifully. So when you talk about this, you talk about, oh my God, that's really a bad news. And I know it's like how you have invested a lot of time in this relationship. You have invested so much of emotions in this. You have been very caring and very sincere about this relationship. And this kind of news that I'm really feeling sad because once it has happened with me, or maybe you can say it has actually happened with one of my friends. Don't bluff over here. You need to share some of the very real time examples and cases, and then say in that particular you did which made you feel better, which made you that scenario, and eventually you do that. You are actually helping that particular person and you're pulling that person from that particular odd situation, bad situation, or a negative situation, and you're trying to make him move from negative to zero to positive situation by helping him, by showing him some plans, by sharing some actions, what exactly he or she needs to take in that situation. And you don't only just advise, you go and help that person. You make him move with you. You just sometimes you take him to, let's say, some decent place, maybe a movie or some entertainment kind of thing you do with him so that he feels good. He's at least trying to detach himself from that negative emotions and he is trying to uplift himself and associate with some fresh things that can actually make him feel good. So you can understand as like you can change the kind of perception of that particular person for you by the way you respond to those. The same event is there, but the way you respond to that event creates a different kind of relationship. Now, how exactly all this can be done? Then, is it so easy? Certainly, it is easy. It is not that complicated as it looks like. So, first of all, we need to understand that in order to be able to understand emotion, we need to understand that emotions, how exactly those emotions are created. So, when I talk about the emotions, I always say like emotions are what? How exactly those emotions are created? How exactly you do that particular thing and how do you feel? So what actually happens is like there is a stimuli, there is a situation happening. So when we say emotion happens because there was an event which actually happened which made us feel something, maybe happy or sad, good or bad, or maybe different kind of thing. So when we talk about all these things, okay, we really need to understand what actually it can be. So when we talk about emotions, there are generally, I would say, eight broader categories of emotions. Okay? So when we talk about this, okay, the kind of the joy, it could be the kind of trust, it could be the kind of fear, it could be the surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, anticipation. These could be the eight broader categories when we talk about this. Okay? And so we really need to understand how exactly those emotions, if those are triggered, how exactly the intensity of those emotions can move from one level to another level. And once it has moved, it really changes the overall perspective. So, first of all, we need to understand that yes, if we can understand that yes, it is not only me who has emotional side, there are people who have emotional side. There may be some days when people may not be so good, they may not be. And how is I can understand the situation and help them overcome out of the situation? That will actually make them feel good about you, and that will actually make them feel that yes, you are not only just talking something, you are talking sense, you are making some sense, you are helping them. So we really need to understand how easily it can be done. So moving further, I would say emotional intelligent people, those people who are emotional intelligence, they have the key to achieve success in both the areas of life, personal and professional. So let us understand how it feels those people who are emotionally intelligent, those people who are able to understand emotions of themselves, their emotion and the emotions of others. How easily you can identify what are the traits that these people have. So when we talk about these people are able to handle situations which may be complex, which may look like complex, but they are able to handle those situations very well, very effectively. They express themselves very well. They express themselves positively with an impact, with a positive intent. And when they do all this, these people generally gain huge respect among the people they are associated with. They recognize their own emotional state, emotional reactions, emotional triggers, emotional behaviors, and they also understand that the person they are talking to, they may also have their own emotional triggers, so they respect their emotional triggers. We may like or we may dislike something. We really need to acknowledge that yes, things exist, people exist, different kind of people exist, and that's what actually means is unique. We're not machines, we are human beings, and human beings have emotional side as well. So we really need to understand. The moment we start understanding emotion, it will make us better. It will make us be more productive. And when we do this, we really know what to say, when to say, how much to say. So, to sum it up, I would say they know how to say the right thing at the right moment and they nail it like wow. When they do this, they're able to manage themselves while they are negotiating with people around them. So, that is one of the very important aspects that we really need to take care of. And when I say, one of the, I would say, in fact, apart from this, something which I really like about the people who are emotionally intelligent is they are one who keep themselves happy, positive. They keep the environment positive around themselves, and they motivate themselves and others. in every situation. And when you do that, you are actually helping people come out of their odd situation. And this is what actually some of the best thing that you can do. On the contrary, those people who are not emotionally smart, those people who are not emotionally intelligent, how you can identify they are someone who do not have control over the emotion or probably very loose control over the emotions. When you actually have very loose control over emotions, what actually happens is like you start reacting on anything and everything that actually happens to you. It may not be so much connected, but you feel that yes, it was bound to happen to you, or it is actually happening because of certain reasons, and you don't like it, you start reacting on it. Okay? You don't know. It's like, or I would say, those people who are not so emotionally smart or emotionally intelligent, they do not know the connection between emotions, thoughts, and behavior. Because anytime I have my emotion, I would generate some thoughts, and those thoughts will lead to certain behavior that I would demonstrate, and those behaviors will have certain impact. That impact can be positive or negative. If that impact is positive, my relationship with people are going to be strengthened. And if my impact of my certain behavior is not positive, it's negative, my relationship with people will start breaking up or losing up, or it will start weakening up. So that actually need to be understood. And that is why actually they are not able to maintain good relationships, or I would say relationships that are long lasting. That really need to be understood. If you feel that this is something which is happening to you, this is the time to wake up, to understand that yes, never let emotions overpower your intelligence. Because if we are so, if we are letting our emotions drive over our intelligence, we are becoming more, I would say, so sensitive or so emotional that there is a very fine line difference between being emotional and emotional fool. So understand that. And if you're only self-centered, if you're only understanding that my emotions, everyone else's emotions are not so important. Probably we are so self-centered that we are cutting off people from our own network, from our own found, I would say, connections and all that, which will actually create lots of, I would say, negative impact. It will drive us out of the situation. So let's understand what exactly needs to be done. And when I talk about all this, I say emotional intelligence has four, I would say, there are four fundamental categories when I talk about the emotional intelligence. So first is you need to be self-aware. You need to have self-awareness. Until unless I don't have my proper self-awareness, if I don't have adequate self-awareness that what I'm doing, how I'm doing, why I'm doing so, and what is exactly the impact of that, I would certainly never improve. So, first of all, I need to be self aware. And I say this, when I'm self aware, I really begin to improve myself. And second step I talk about is the self management. How I manage myself, how I do things which can create a positive impact. And if I don't do that, there will be things which will continue on a very default mode. Some things may go good, some things may not go so pleasant. So how exactly I can change those outcome by managing myself. So second thing comes self-management. Third, I talk about the social awareness. As in like we need to be aware of the society, we need to be aware of the people, we need to aware of their actions and reactions and the way they behave. Because until unless I don't understand people around me, the society and the connections, I would never be able to get the best out of the situation because I'm not working all alone on this planet. I'm working with people. And when I'm working with people, I really need to understand people. And that is why basically being social aware is third and important aspect on that. And moving further, the fourth important is relationship management. You need to have a good relationship and you really need to manage that very, very well. So when I talk about this, I always say is like how we can do something which can make us feel good. And what exactly that really needs to be taken care of and how exactly it moves, which can change the overall things that are actually happening with us. And certainly it can change, it can improve, it can make things good. So when I talk about the self-awareness, I say self-awareness includes the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. my own emotions, if I'm able to understand the kind of effect those emotions are having on my life and on my work, it would be very good. I would be able to start managing myself. Only if I am self-aware, I will be able to manage myself. So this includes the ability to accurately assess your own strengths and limitations, self-confidence, which is a very, very important aspect, and it really needs to be worked upon. Because if I am able to do so, I would certainly make the best out of that situation, and that situation will help me understand two things better. The second thing comes is self-management. When I talk about the self-management, it includes or it talks about the ability to control disruptive or unproductive or harmful emotions and the kind of desires which may lead to behaviors which are not going to result on a positive side. If I'm able to manage those, I will go and do things better. So it includes trustworthiness, consciousness, and adaptability. If I'm open, if I'm adaptable, I would certainly make the best out of different situation. And trust me, if I can do that, there is no way, no time to me for the success. Third is the social awareness, and very important. If I really need to make best of the situation and the resources that I have. So it actually relates to one's ability to understand others, how I'm able to understand others. Socially aware people, the people who are socially aware, or I would say generally, I count them as like amazing people, wonderful people, because if you are aware of the society or the people around you, you can make the best out of the situation. So these people practice empathy. They practice empathy like anything. They put themselves into the other's shoes. They start seeing the thing from the another viewpoint. They don't always judge people. I would say they don't judge people. They start understanding people, their situation, their uh, background, why exactly they are behaving like that. And when you do that, when you start putting yourself into someone else's shoes, you start sensing emotions, you become sensitive. So being sensitive is not a negative thing. It's about understanding someone is behaving. So it is about understanding someone's perspective, and which is very, very important area of a smart and intelligent person. And that actually helps you like go pro life. So the fourth thing which actually happens is the relationship management. This refers to the ability to connect with others, and when you connect with others, you build positive relationships. If you are first of all socially aware on that scale, okay? So you build positive relationships. Okay? So people who have high emotional intelligence are aware of the impact their behaviors can have on the others, and they treat people with compassion, sensitivity, and kindness. And there's a very nice quote, okay, that is from the Mother Teresa, and she says, "Be kind whenever possible. Be kind whenever possible." In the second line of the same quote says, "It is always possible." So be kind. Don't just be. Understand why someone is behaving the way they are behaving. If I can do that, I would certainly be able to manage things in much and much better way, and that will make me move much and much higher on my career. So we need to understand as like people who uh, have good emotional intelligence, who have good emotional intelligence, they are strong in building relationships, they know themselves. So there is one thing that we talk about is how they can do things which are very good, which are very important. And that is why exactly when we say intrapersonal relationships or intrapersonal aspect of it, where I just talked about the self-awareness, which is very important. Second, that I talked about is the intrapersonal. So it is about the self-management, wherein we start understanding that yes, how to manage our stress, how to manage our impulse, how to be more of, I would say, self-reliant, how can I be more adaptable so that I can solve the problems like anything. And third aspect is the interpersonal, wherein we talk about the self-motivation, where we understand that yes, with optimism, I can do things better. If I have my achievement drive, I can be more focused, I can have a target, and I can continue to work on that with more passion and more sincerity. And at the same time, the- these people also have contentment. So it is not that you are always hungry. Yes, you need to have an hunger to a desire to do things better, to do things much and much better in the next time. But at the same time, you should be happy with what you are able to do, and you need to continuously keep on a check so that you can improve further in life. And that is what exactly make people go pro in their life. So what exactly will happen if I can become emotionally intelligent, which is a very important thing. Why should I understand emotion, my emotions and other emotions? Though I have talked a lot about it, just to summarize it, I would say when I can become emotionally intelligent, what will happen is like first of all, I would have this kind of a communication style which is more assertive. So I would talk on an assertive note. I would get my things done quickly and effectively. Then instead of reacting, I would start responding. And when I start responding, I would lead to very less conflict or probably to zero conflict. And that was what actually the kind of target anyone has. We don't want to get involved into any kind of conflict because it takes up time, it eats our time and energy and kind of good feeling at that time. We don't want to get into conflict. And those people who are emotionally intelligent, or let's say when we become emotionally intelligent, we utilize our listening skills actively. Or those people who utilize their listening skills actively, they become emotionally intelligent. Because you are not judging people, you are not just creating your own perception, you are listening, you are trying to take all the points from someone and you're who's talking to you, understand what they say, and start taking the real meaning, not the meaning that you want to create out of that. So you don't interpret things from your own angle. You start listening without any biasness and take the things the way they actually are. And that actually makes both the people go good with respect to their relationship. How would you feel if you want to go and if you want to say something, you go and talk to someone, but that particular person is not listening to you? Would you be happy in that situation? No, certainly it won't be the case. So how you can do? Listen to the people the way you want yourself to be listened by someone else. You also need to start listening people actively and then without any biasness. And when it actually happens is like you start practicing to maintain an attitude which is a positive, and it is a positive on a mutual side. It's a positive relationship which create a good harmony between both the people. You practice self-awareness, and if someone gives you any kind of feedback, or even if someone criticizes, you don't take it so hard on your heart that you start feeling bad. You start analyzing, okay, I may not be good at certain areas, and that's very obvious. If someone is telling me something, I really need to understand on the logical aspect and on the emotional aspect, and then connect it and take the best out of it, through which I can be better than what I was yesterday. And certainly, feedbacks are very important thing. Anyone who start ignoring feedback, they start limiting themselves, they start limiting their growth. So, if we really want to grow further in our life, we really need to listen to people, even if they are criticizing or sharing feedback, which we may not like at that moment. So, go ahead in that way and make your life very good. So when we talk about this, like what actually happens, what is the benefit when we become emotional intelligent? So when we do all this, you can correlate as like in the last 28 minutes we have talked about certain things. If we can do all that what we have talked about, okay. So what will happen is like we will have a relationship, we will have a team building. We have a team wherein there is a trust. We have a team which works better, which works effectively, because there is no denying to any employee what they are saying. We understand what they are saying and we understand what they are doing, and we understand why they are doing what they are doing. And if there is something which is not so good, we go ahead and help eliminate the root cause, work on the root cause rather than taking things from the one angle only. So we help people grow further in their life. We also grow further in life when we start taking positive taking the inputs positively. Those inputs may not look good or so appealing at the start, but yes, they may help us. So this will create a better, I would say, office environment, or even at your personal space. You will have a good relationship with everyone, and the environment around you would be very appealing, very positive, and you feel like, wow, this is something I really have been looking forward to in my life from very long. So you have better self-control. You don't make adjustment. You understand things the way they are. You are more compassionate, and you can manage your time much better, effectively, and high level of motivation to do things what you have been doing till so far. And that what actually makes you feel good. And this is something which we all really need to understand. So always understand, we do all this, we try to be emotionally intelligent. The first thing that we actually need is like we start recognizing our own emotions and other people's emotions. Second is we start recognizing the different feelings, ours and theirs. And then we start using our emotional information to guide our behavior so that it is leading to the positive impact. And then we manage our emotions to achieve our goals. So this is from my side. And if you have any questions, please drop your questions. Let me go through it and I'll surely answer those questions. So I really enjoyed talking to you all. And it was a wonderful to interact with you all. Please do take care of yourself emotionally and on the corona situation which is happening. Please take all the precautions, preventions which make you feel safe, which make you, in fact, safe, do things which are required. Be a responsible citizen, and do things which can be good for your health and for the well-being of people. Stay positive, stay healthy. Thank you very much.